Hey NFL fans, I'm Thomas Mott. Welcome into Chat Sports, and today we have another edition of our NFL news and rumors video. We're going to cover all the stuff that is happening inside the world of the National Football League. And let me just say right now, before we jump in, there's some juicy stuff in here. Some stuff's going down, especially with the Dallas Cowboys, that we're, of course, going to dive into and talk about and discuss as we go forward. We'll jump right into this. Number one here has to do with Ezekiel Elliott. Now, normally, I would be talking about how Zeke Elliott's in Cabo right now, and Zeke Elliott is holding out, and Zeke Elliott has 2 years left on his deal. No, a new story has popped up saying that a lawsuit was filed claiming that the Cowboys conspired with police in Dallas to cover up and help Zeke in a car accident that was sustained in 2017 back in January. Now again, Zeke is currently holding out from Cowboys camp. He's in Cabo. He's not going to show up until he gets a new deal, or they're at that little stalemate. But essentially, the guy who is involved in the car wreck, Ezekiel Elliott, ran a red light, hit another car on his way to Cowboys practice, and it was kind of just pushed aside as both guys were fine, no harm, no foul, move on. Well, the new lawsuit shows that the other guy doesn't feel the same way that Zeke and what the media was told. So, in the lawsuit, the guy claims that the Cowboys, quote, conspired with the Frisco Police Department to cover up the severity of the accident to assure that Elliott's health would not be placed in question before their playoff game. If anyone had reported the impact of the accident and had Elliott been examined, he would have most likely been placed in concussion protocol and out for the Dallas Cowboys' upcoming playoff game. Now remember, this happens in January of 2017, days before the Packers-Cowboys playoff game, which the Packers ended up winning, by the way. And so what the lawsuit is claiming is that the impact was so great, and I think I read part of the lawsuit where the guy who was hit was saying that he was dazed, he was confused, all the while Zeke had already talked to the police, and the Cowboys had already come in and kind of worked things out, and they'd gotten out of there. So, again, what will happen with this going forward? I don't know right now. People have no idea. Your guess is as good as mine. But it is an interesting and somewhat kind of scary situation if you have a case where the police were working with the Cowboys to ensure that Zeke's health would not be coming into question because of the violence of the hit that he sustained during the accident. So again, it's tough to kind of debate what's going to happen here, and obviously a lot of Cowboys fans are holding their breath right now with Zeke's holdout, and that's kind of taken the front page of all the news. But at the same time, this lawsuit is there. It will go to court, and they will have to figure out what is going to happen with it. I think the defendant is trying to get $20 million from the Cowboys and $1 million from Zeke Elliott. So he's trying to get some money. Will he just get paid off, keep quiet? I don't know, but it's a developing story here that I wanted to lead off the NFL rumors because not a lot of people are picking it up. I know Pro Football Talk had it. I think a couple of other small local Dallas markets had it as well. But it's starting to gain a little bit of steam here, so why don't you guys be one of the first to hear about it. So with all this stuff happening around Zeke Elliott, right? Wants the new deal. They still got to sign Cooper and Dak Prescott, and they probably want to do it before they give Zeke a new deal. And now this lawsuit that's come up here. Would you give Zeke Elliott a long-term deal? Cowboy fan or not, I'm curious what you guys think down below. Would you give Zeke a long-term deal based on the play on the field and also all the stuff off the field? This is a tough one. It's a tough one, but a lot of debate in the media. You guys can answer it. Go ahead and scroll down below. So we started with Tom Downey's team, right, the Dallas Cowboys. Now we move on to Mitch's team, the Oakland Raiders, and something I'm sure he's going to talk about on his Raiders report a lot more. But this headline just makes you want to just sit there and smile because it talks about how John Gruden is in love with Nathan Peterman. Yes, just go ahead. Think about that one. Nathan Peterman. Remember, think in your brains. Where do you know that name? Remember, Raiders signed Peterman this offseason after he was let go by the Buffalo Bills. Because, again, he was atrocious up there in Buffalo for his 2 seasons. Gruden then met with the media, I think, yesterday during training camp. Because, of course, the media is all over that place right now. And told reporters he is really starting to like Nathan Peterman. There's also reports earlier this year, which kind of we can piggyback off of this, was that Gruden was not sold on Derek Carr. And so he brings in a guy like Peterman who can now compete for not for the starting job, but compete for the backup job. But maybe at some point, if Carr struggles, could we see Nathan Peterman elevated to that role? I know Mitch is rolling right now, just like as upset as possible, because he has told you guys it's not going to happen, which I agree. I think Derek Carr's going to have a massive year. But at the same time, let's throw the quote on the screen here. This is what Gruden said exactly about Nathan Peterman. It's the total John Gruden quote, too. This Nathan Peterman is growing on me. Growing on me. All right, I don't know what that means. We gotta take it with a grain of salt, but is there a scenario where Nathan Peterman, either injury or poor play by Derek Carr, could supplant Mr. Carr is the starting quarterback for the Oakland Raiders? I don't know. It's all speculation. Like I said, I think Derek Carr has a massive year. And Nathan Peterman's stats we see on the screen right now in his 2 years, 8 games played, 52% completion percentage, not even close to 1,000 yards, and 12 interceptions. Again, that's 8 games with 12 picks. So it's not going to happen. But at the same time, don't you kind of wish non-Raiders fans, you're like, I'm curious how this would go if Peterman ever were to become the starting quarterback of the Oakland Raiders. Had to throw it in there, Mitch. I'm sorry. I just had to. It grabbed headlines, and I just wanted to just see what the NFL viewing audience thinks about Nathan Peterman. Okay, to add actual good quarterback, let's go over to Andrew Luck, because Andrew Luck has missed another practice. He missed one, I believe, yesterday, and might miss practice all week. He's not going to play in the Colts preseason game coming up here because he's been battling this calf injury for about 3 months. And the Colts have been saying they're going to be just being extra careful, extra cautious, and Luck was quoted talking about how, I haven't listened to my body a lot in recent years. Now I'm going to listen to it more and go the extra mile. But the concern here is kind of a Kevin Durant concern, right? Kevin Durant had that calf strain, which turned into the Achilles injury, and so people are like, is this similar with Andrew Luck? But apparently Andrew Luck addressed this in the quote we'll throw up on the screen right now, saying, quote, "The nature of it is a calf strain, and I say lower leg because I feel pain in my ankle area and calf strain. I've had images and x-rays and my Achilles is not at extra risk. There's no tear or swelling in there or anything that's indicated." So that should hopefully put to rest a lot of people who are concerned that a Kevin Durant type injury could be happening with Andrew Luck. Now, do we know if this is what Andrew Luck, if this is the truth? Because are we sure that Kevin Durant wasn't told this exact same thing? I don't know. But the fact that Luck has been missing practices, still there and throwing, but not participating in 7-on-7, 11-on-11s, and also missing the upcoming preseason games doesn't really surprise me. Why play him? You don't need to. And if you want to make sure 100% he's healthy, then this is the path that you need to go. Now, listen, last year, 16 games, Andrew Luck balled out. 67% completion percentage, almost 40 touchdowns and 4,500 yards passing. Ridiculous, right? I've said many times that I think Andrew Luck's going to have an absolutely massive year this year. All the pieces are in place, but he needs to be healthy for all 16 games, because when he does, that's the stats you're going to get, right? 40 touchdowns, 4,500 yards. He has a real shot at being an MVP candidate this year. I think the Colts are doing the right thing by trying to keep him healthy. Listen, I think he's a top 5 quarterback right now. What do you guys think? Type down below, is Andrew Luck a top 5 quarterback? I want to hear your guys' thoughts. Colts fans will agree, but I'm curious if the other, the national perspective agrees with me as well. All right, move along here on our NFL rumors and news video. Dez Bryant. There's a name I didn't think I'd talk about for a while. So normally you'd expect me to go, well, Dez is being looked at by a bunch of teams. Not the case. Dez Bryant was telling reporters, I believe, TMZ, that he's not interested in a return. Now remember, he signed a 1-year deal with the Saints last year, seemed super pumped about it, and then in his second practice tore his Achilles. Right? The Achilles is really, really tough to come back from, so maybe he's not fully ready to go, although by the time frame says that he should. But apparently, when asked, he's not really interested in the league right now, saying, quote, to TMZ, this exactly why I don't have no interest in playing football right now. This is in a tweet, actually, excuse me. I have not reached out to no organization trying to play. People forget real quick. We are still human. My anxiety and depression came from this type of stuff when I realized nobody cared about me. Again, he's talking about other players getting injured during the offseason, of course, being kind of forgotten about. So it looks like he's not reaching out to anybody, and no one's reaching out to him, which, again, is not that big of a surprise because there are probably other younger wide receivers who aren't coming off of, a torn Achilles and also weren't a diva during their time with the Dallas Cowboys. So it doesn't really surprise me. You gotta go back to 2017, the last time Dez played. 69 catches, 838 yards, 6 touchdowns, about 12.1 yards per catch. Is this the last time we've seen Dez Bryant? Like, is Dez gonna officially fade into the sunset? We're no longer even gonna consider him as a prospect back in the NFL? Maybe, maybe as sad as it is to say that Dez was one of the better receivers in the league when he was at his peak back in 2013, 2014 with the Dallas Cowboys, but alas, this does not seem to be the case anymore, and it looks like no teams are really looking for his services. Now, if someone has a massive injury or multiple wide receivers start going down, which we'll talk about later on in this video, maybe, but it seems like he's not really interested in a return, which seems different from what he talked about last year, but times change, players change, and Dez Bryant still off the market and looks to stay that way going forward. Now, a running back who is officially off the market in terms of he got a new massive, massive contract is the wide receiver Michael Thomas from New Orleans. Now, the Saints made, just yesterday evening, depending on when you watch this video, They made Thomas the highest paid wide receiver in the league, giving him a $100 million contract. He's the first non-quarterback on the offensive side to get a $100 million deal. Now, this does tie into other stuff, so we're going to combine the rumors here and say that Amari Cooper, Julio Jones are now going to look to this deal to be kind of the blueprint of how much money they're going to try and get, and you bet your bottom dollar at least Julio is going to try and get more money than Michael Thomas. I can see Amari Cooper getting less in the $18 million range, $17 to $19 million range, but Julio's going to want more than Michael Thomas. Julio Jones also said, told reporters at Falcons training camp just the other day, he's not participating in any preseason game, which is not unnormal for Julio Jones. He hasn't done it in like 3 years. He's focusing on getting ready for the season, and he expects a contract to come very, very soon. But back to Michael Thomas. Listen, the guy deserves every penny that he was paid here. He was playing on a very small deal. Now he gets the extension here, becoming the highest paid wide receiver in the league. And last year, look at the numbers. 125 catches, 1,405 yards, 9 touchdowns, 11.2 yards per catch. He catches everything Drew Brees throws at him and is a vital and valuable part of that Saints offensive attack because he's really the only one they have besides Alvin Kamara right now. So he gets paid, and Julio and Amari are going to go to their agents now and say, all right, here's your blueprint, get me more. And they should have those deals done within the next couple of days or weeks. Final bit of news here on the NFL News and Rumors video has to do with A.J. Green, who apparently is more injured than a lot of people thought in the beginning. So, A.J. Green sprained his ankle at camp practice on Saturday. Now, they were going to go in and decide, like, let's do a little ankle cleanup repair surgery. Very minor, just help him out with the ankle sprain because you don't want that to linger. They go in, and they found a lot more damage than they originally expected. So he was going to be out for just the preseason. Now he's going to miss a couple of games to start the season. Head coach Zac Taylor was quoted saying, there's a good chance he's going to miss a couple of games. We're hopeful he's back at the beginning of the season, a little more extensive than we initially thought. Hopefully he'll be ready to go at the beginning half of the season. So what is that, week 4, week 5, week 6? Week 9? Like where are we getting at in terms of A.J. Green's health? Remember, he comes off of the torn ligaments in his toe, which ended his season last year. And so the stats you see on your screen right now kind of show that he didn't play all 16 games. 9 games played, 46 catches, 694 yards, and 6 touchdowns. He's still one of the better receivers in the league right now, but is not considered, to many people, probably a top 3, top 5 candidate, and he can't stay healthy. So he's got to get right. He's going to miss games this year, which impacts fantasy football, just FYI. And we'll see how this, I guess, lingers going forward because you never know with the ankles in the NFL. But tough injury up there in Cincinnati as they're trying to really turn the page underneath new head coach Zac Taylor, who was, of course, brought over from the LA Rams. But hopefully they're at a point where they can be okay. You know, they can kind of weather the storm, get him back, and then try and make a playoff push, or at least try and win some games in a division that is absolutely stacked right now in terms of Browns, Steelers, and also Ravens. So again, A.J. Green, gonna miss a significant time. If you're drafting your fantasy leagues, don't draft A.J. Green anywhere close to the first 4, 5, 6 rounds, however high you want to go, because he is absolutely not going to be ready. There you go. There's all the NFL news and rumor videos, or news and rumors we have for today. Which one's the craziest, right? Is it the Zeke one? Is it the Nathan Peterman one? Andrew Luck and the worry about the whole Durant ankle thing? Dez Bryant? There's a lot to get into. So be sure to subscribe to Chat Sports. That way, whenever we do these weekly videos, because trust me, we do a ton of videos every single week. You guys are going to be overloaded with excellent content here at Chat Sports. When you subscribe, that way you are ready to go and are notified whenever we drop a new video. And I drop a ton of stuff on this channel as well. So also follow me on Twitter at Real Thomas Mott, and we can kind of converse back and forth there. If you want to follow me, that's a great way to do it as well. Again, all the time we have for today on the NFL News and Rumors video. For Chat Sports, I'm Thomas Mott signing off. Enjoy the rest of your day.